So, as the 4th of July is approaching and I'm here by myself in this beautiful place, I am taking my bicycle ride. I'm going for a short walk in this gully and I just love to be here. It's so nice and quiet and peaceful. But yeah, I'm making another video to hopefully encourage you to do what it takes to have embodied language. Because if you continue with your disembodied language, your problems will not be addressed, your problems will increase, your problems will grow out of proportion. And this is not some doom preaching that I'm doing here. I'm telling you what I know after 67 years of living, that disembodied language, our usual way of talking in which we do not listen to ourselves while we speak, disembodied language in which we make other people listen to us, but we're not listening to ourselves. Disembodied language in which we endlessly listen to other people. You listen to me. But what are you getting out of it? What are you able to get out of it if you do not start your own experiment and you begin to recognize that, yeah, I've been using my language incorrectly. Yeah. And when I say incorrectly, I mean that if you do not listen to yourself while you speak, your language happens involuntarily. You are just acting out mechanically your conditioning history. And you do not, what we say consciously, but you do not knowingly use your language voluntarily for your own benefit, because that is what I do. I have embodied language. And embodied language is voluntary use of language. I don't have internal language like you believe to have, because you haven't had the conversation with yourself in which you have acknowledged that language is an overt phenomenon. And unless you are going to do that, unless you're going to say, yes, language is an overt phenomenon, there is no inner language, unless you're going to say that to yourself and hear yourself say that, you're going to continue to believe in your mind, in your involuntary language that goes on inside your head. But all that is imaginary, all that is an illusion created by your disembodied language in which you never listened to yourself. And you were always listening to others, always trying to get other people to listen to you, or longing for other people to finally understand you, to accept you, to know you. All of that is going to dissolve if you're going to have embodied language. Embodied language is the language of individual freedom. How can you celebrate Independence Day with disembodied language? There's not much to celebrate with a language that doesn't allow you to be an individual. I am an individual, and my ongoing embodied language represents my language enlightenment. So I am an enlightened human being who expresses ongoing embodied language. And that is what it is like to be totally free, to be truly free. And so, you know, everybody with disembodied language, they keep trying to be busy with others and trying to make other people believe this or that. But ultimately, what are all these shenanigans all about? It's always about changing the language. It's always about changing the narrative. Yeah. And so this is why you are cancelled, thrown off of Facebook or something like that. Yeah. People don't want you to speak a particular way. People don't want other people to hear what you're saying. Yeah. This is what happens in the name of politics. And so this whole cancel culture and this whole climate in which we are endlessly trying to change the language of others is completely wrong, because we do understand that we want to change the language, right? We kind of have a sense that there's something about language which is wrong. But we need to get it right at the individual level. Unless you are going to have this conversation with yourself, like I'm having right now here, by myself in this creek. There's nobody here. I'm just here alone. You see this? There's nobody here. Here, and there's my bicycle. Let's see where it is. Can I see it? Oh yeah, there it is. So, unless you're going to have that conversation by yourself, you're not going to be clear on the overt nature of language, and that the illusion of inner language, that it never existed. Your mind never existed. Yeah, and that's quite something to understand at an individual level, because if you understand that your mind never existed, then you have no mental problems anymore. Yeah. Isn't that a revolution of psychology if we begin to adhere to the overt nature of language? I would say so, but nobody is interested so far. No, I haven't heard much response, and I don't care, and that is so beautiful that I don't care, yeah? That is so wonderful that I just don't care. Because I am having already embodied language. And why would I care? This is how much I care, that I tell you about it, and that I challenge you and let you know that you can have embodied language too, if you do the experiment, if you do what it takes, if you begin to talk with yourself and say to yourself, wait a second, why am I talking like this? Why am I saying what I'm saying if I do not even like it? If I do not enjoy it? If it bothers me? If it troubles me? If it perpetuates my problem? So, there's a different way of talking, and that way of talking, you cannot hear it unless you say it, and you cannot be affected by it unless you begin to affect yourself. Yeah? And so the nature of embodied language is this is what I'm talking about right now. The way in which I talk is self-reinforcing. So why do I do this? Well, because I like to, and because it feels good, and because it is nice, it is clear, it is true. It's my truth, yeah? And so self-reinforcement is the nature of anything that you like to do, yeah, whether it's language or anything else. Yeah, so you like to continue to do it because you feel good about it. You like to, I don't know, hit a ball over a net or something like that, playing tennis, or kick a ball, yeah, in a soccer match. Yeah, I used to do that as a kid, and now I'm watching the World Cup sometimes if I get a chance to see the matches. Anyway, do you see all the excitement about all that? Well, it is also having to do with the fact that we are temporarily away from our disembodied language. But how about being away from our disembodied language, not by means of some sort of an escape, because, a lot of our involvement in other activities is, of course, a failed attempt to get away from disembodied language, because disembodied language is never properly addressed. So if you begin to properly address it, and if you begin to say to yourself, like, wait a second, I don't like this disembodied language. I've had it my whole life, and I'm done with it. I I want to celebrate Independence Day with embodied language. If you decide that you want to do that, yeah, then we will be having embodied language together after the 4th of July. I hope you do it.